Awesome. All right, I'm gonna wait a few more minutes to give folks time to log in, get adjusted before we start the workshop today. Is everyone staying cool? I'm trying. It's difficult.
I've got 2 fans going. I'm on the first floor in a three level building. I'm afraid to turn the air conditioning on because it's central air. I don't need to wear a mask in my house. So instead of using my air, I'm using all my fans.
Wow.
So I got one going on me right here in the room and one behind me. Hopefully I will not drip too much.
Thank you. As you're coming,
smiling. You think that's cute, do you?
As you're coming into the workshop, please make sure that you sign in with your full name into the chat so that I can mark your attendance for the workshop. If you are on the phone, let me see if we have anybody. If anybody is on the phone, please let me know what your name is and your campus so that I can write it down in my notes and make sure that I document your presence here today.
I didn't put my campus. I'll do it one more time because I didn't put my campus. I'm a bad listener. Because I'm multitasking. Shame on me. Okay, let's see. I'll do it again. And I'll follow Lori's lead. It says Science Division. Then I'll put West LA. Okay, there, I did it again.
Stephanie, what's your background? It looks like a museum or something.
I don't know. It's one of those fake picture things.
Oh, I thought it was virtual.
No, so cool. It's not virtual. I have 2 fake picture backgrounds. This one, I like them to have like an open sort of feel, like a bright open sort of feel. So I have no idea what this picture is. It's just a picture that I bought on
pretty cool
the internet. You can buy these things in Amazon actually has a special section for backdrops that these are used for like photography kinds of things. When you go to this section, you find all of the ones that people use for like newborn shots, and you're like, oh, I've totally seen that background before.
That's funny.
And they sell also a thing to put it up behind you, like that you can hang your green screen on, but I don't need that because my office is in the laundry room and I can touch the walls on either side. So I just have like a curtain, like a shower rod. I put it up on a shower rod.
Wow.
So resourceful.
Yeah. My computer's too old to create any kind of virtual background. So I might have to think about getting a Stephanie canvas size background.
Yeah, these aren't expensive. This one that I'm sitting in front of is just 3 by 5.
Oh, wow.
So,
it looks huge. It looks bigger than a 3 by 5.
I have one that is bigger than a 3 by 5, but it makes it hard for me to get in and out of my study area because I like sort of push it out of the way and duck under it. And also I used it for like many months, and it got, you know, it's just a really thin sheet of plastic basically with a photo printed on it. And so now because it got bent up a bunch, you know, you can start to see where like the photo is no longer wearing through. So this is a new one.
Cool.
Stephanie, is that a canvas or vinyl?
I think it's vinyl.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's vinyl. It's very thin.
Cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's workable.
Buenos dias, good morning for those of you who are just joining us. Once again, if you just recently joined our group, please make sure that you sign in with your full name and campus in the chat. That way, at the end of the workshop, I can go into the VRC and mark your attendance here today. You can get flex credit for your attendance today. And I'll remind everyone at the end of the workshop and in the middle of the workshop as well, just in case folks are trickling in this morning. I know that Monday mornings are difficult because they're difficult for me. Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Flipgrid workshop, or as I like to call it, how to create a more maybe face-to-face classroom in a digital world, right? In our own digital world that we're currently experiencing right now. And I wanted to talk a little bit about what is Flipgrid. In case you haven't had a chance to explore or look at it or maybe experience it yourself, it's a program, specifically an online app, where students can record themselves face-to-face, or they also have access to other components such as a whiteboard in case you want them to go on and draw something, or if you want them to work out a mathematical problem, or if you want them to explain something, they can go into Flipgrid and record themselves, upload it to Canvas. And then what they also have the option of doing is responding to their other classmates and their professor as a sort of conversation. Now, I have to preface this by saying that I've only used Flipgrid in my experience with asynchronous classrooms. Because our classrooms don't have a set meeting time except for office hours, I've decided to create something or to use something that would help students build community without necessarily meeting each other in person, face-to-face in a physical on-campus classroom. And so far, according to the data that I've collected with end of the semester surveys, you know, Flipgrid has been, people have really either loved it, or other folks are like, oh, I don't really want to speak to anyone. I don't want to respond to anyone. So it just it's kind of a little bit of a polarizing activity for some. But what I found out in the spring semester and in the summer semester, once we started quarantine, the love or the like for Flipgrid has increased. And I think it has to do with the lack of socialization that some of us have been experiencing due to the global pandemic and also to quarantining, right? Our socialization has been at a minimum for most of us. And so there's been an interesting shift in students really appreciating that they're actually able to see their classmates, communicate with their classmates, and communicate with me. And there's a response that happens throughout the semester with this particular program. I also will talk about the other components that Flipgrid is capable of. For those of us who are not necessarily a part of the humanities or the arts, or folks that are thinking about how can I use this program in a STEM field, for example. And I did a little bit of research in terms of what is available for folks who are in the STEM field and want to use Flipgrid for their classroom as well. So I also wanted to just note that Canvas has this capability already in terms of recording and uploading and putting it up into a discussion post. So you don't have to use Flipgrid if you don't like it or if you don't feel that it works for you, because Canvas already has those capabilities. For me, the reason why I use Flipgrid is because I want to break up the monotony of having to use Canvas over and over and over and over. And another really great benefit to using Flipgrid is that it embeds into Canvas. So the student doesn't have to leave Canvas to use Flipgrid. They can use it within the LMS, and they don't have to go to 2 different websites or 3 different websites in order to complete the assignment or the activity that you have planned for them in your class. So to me, that's a benefit, and it's also free, which is another benefit. I'm not looking to subscribe, you know, yearly for programs because they can be costly. And so it's a really great thing that you can integrate it into Canvas, and you can also use it for free without having to pay for a subscription. And I wanted to play a short video for you all, just to see what educators, what it looks like for educators when using Canvas. I'm hoping that the sound is going to work. I'm going to share my screen with you all really, really quick here. Let's see. Share. Let me know if the sound doesn't work when we hear the video.
Welcome to Flipgrid. Flipgrid is a simple, free, and accessible video discussion experience for pre-K to PhD educators, learners, and families. In Flipgrid, educators post discussion prompts and learners respond with short videos. To get started, go to flipgrid.com and click Educator Sign Up to create a free Flipgrid account with Microsoft or Google. Once you've signed up, start the discussion by creating your first topic. Your topic can reflect on a chapter of reading, demonstrate an exercise routine, share a hypothesis, anything. I'll make this as simple as share one of your favorite discoveries. Add anything you want your learners to review prior to responding, such as links and videos, to foster enriching inquiry. You can also set the maximum recording time and choose to moderate your topic, meaning video responses will be hidden from your community until you approve them.
I'm going to stop the video here because it's about 2 minutes and I don't want to go through the other sections because it just essentially tells you how to log on to Flipgrid, and I want to make sure that we all do that together in case there's any questions along the way. So we're going to first start with an educator's account for Flipgrid. Please, if you have access to your computer or to your web browser, you can go to www.flipgrid.com, and I'll show you what that looks like as soon as I exit out of this one. Log out. So it's going to show you a login page. Either for students or this one is specifically for educators. It takes you automatically into the info.flipgrid.com. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that you sign up as an educator. So click on educator sign up. And it's going to ask you whether you want to join through Google. If you have a Gmail account or a Google account, you can use your account. Or if you have a Microsoft account as well, you can use that one to sign up. I chose to use neither of those. I decided to use my campus account, which you can do by saying, I want an account, let me create one. And so you can click here, create your own account. If you want to use your campus email, you can feel free to do that by just creating a new account without having to log into your Gmail or your Google account or your Microsoft account. And that's what I did. So you're going to see that I'm not going to log in through Google or Microsoft. I'm going to log in here with my laccd.edu faculty account. As you're creating your account, it's going to ask you a few questions such as what level of education are you teaching, whether it's K through 12 or university or college. It might ask you for information about yourself if you want to join through any social media accounts such as Twitter, Instagram. Flipgrid has a lot of Twitter activities throughout the school year where they get faculty and educators to get together and talk about the different aspects of Flipgrid. I think the last one that I saw on Twitter was about accessibility, because that has become a really important topic in recent months. And so how is Flipgrid accessible to our students, to our faculty, and making sure that we are able to follow any kinds of codes needed so that students have a wonderful experience in using the program and they feel supported through the use of the program as well. Okay, so once you've created your account, I'm just going to log into mine so that you can see what your dashboard is going to look like.
Sandra, I don't see where you can log in, where you can create an account without Google or Microsoft. It doesn't give me that option.
So if you click,
same here. There's no, you have to, they don't give you an option to log in unless you want Google or Microsoft.
Oh, so that must be something, they just recently updated the system, I think a week ago. So that might be something that is new for them.
The plutocrats have descended
Yeah,
again.
now they want to follow us everywhere, right? They want to know
They
what
want
our,
everything.
yeah, they want to know
I found what you asked us to do by clicking on already have an account, and then eventually it showed where you could put
really?
email.
Yeah, so what I did, let me go back so that you can see what I did. Because I signed up for this 3 years ago. So the login definitely has changed, but what I did is, oh no, let me go back because this one's not the right one, flipgrid.com. Okay, so it'll take you to that section where it tells you, do you want to log in? You go to the educator sign up. And then I say I already have an account because I do, but if you have that link, click on it at the bottom of the page. Can everybody see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, click on it. And then here it says, if you don't have an account, let's create one. And then you click on that and it should let you create an account based on your, on whatever email it is that you want to tie into Flipgrid.
No.
No, it doesn't for me.
Same thing. It puts you back. You only have Google or Microsoft options.
Oh, wow. Okay. Really? Wow. Yeah.
If you click on the 3 little dots in front of the sign up, it gives the option to sign up for educator. There you have exactly this screen that Sandra is showing right now. Sandra, for some reason, because you already have an account, probably you don't see what we see that we don't have an account.
Oh, okay.
It's slightly different.
Thank you. So
and where are the 3 dots?
They are right in front of the sign up. Do you have the little sign on the upper right corner of your browser?
Not on the page that Sandra's showing now.
No. It's not in the page that you see. When you go to info.flipgrid.com.
Oh,
info.flipgrid.com. Then you have on the upper right corner, you have sign up, and then you have, it's slightly to the left, you have 3 little dots. That's what you need to click, and then click educator login.
I don't see that. I don't see 3 little dots.
I wonder if Carlos can share his screen really quick.
Sure.
Yeah,
I'm on info.flip. I don't see any dots.
Okay, let me,
Sandra, I also wanted to bring us to Marini's comments, because if you click on Microsoft, that's actually our LACCD Outlook email. So that would allow you to use your college email address, because our college email is a Microsoft Outlook email.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and that might be a good option. I was about to suggest that.
Oh yeah,
because that way you'll get messages to your LACCD email.
And later on, if you decide that you don't want to use your campus account, maybe you want to use like a Hotmail account or a Yahoo account, you can change it within the profile system. So you don't have to commit to the email and using it for the rest of the time that you use Flipgrid. You can always go ahead and change it later on once you've already created an account with Flipgrid. But good point. I forget that our Outlook is Microsoft connected. Okay, so that kind of solves that issue where you can sign up with Microsoft and you can use your campus email address.
I found that you can change in the profile if you already signed with the wrong one, because I signed with the Gmail before in preparation for this, and now it allows me in profile to change my email to the work email.
Correct. Once you log in, let me share my screen really quick. Am I sharing my screen right now? I can't tell. Okay.
No.
Okay, thank you. Share my screen really quick so that I can show you all what it looks like. So once you log in, if you haven't used Flipgrid before, you're not going to have anything under your discussion or group section. It's going to be blank because you haven't created one yet. And we'll do that today so that everybody leaves with a group created before we end our workshop. But in terms of changing your profile, mine is a sun with sunglasses on it. And you can always upload whatever picture it is that you want. But if you click on it in the top right corner, and then you click on profile, a little pop-up window will show up. If you click on profile, it'll take you to your profile, and you can always fill up whatever it is that you want to fill up. You can change your password, you can update your email. So you can do all that later on if that's what you choose to do with the Flipgrid. Are there any questions so far?
Well, I've chosen the Microsoft and it seems to know me, I guess because I'm in the same browser that I also logged in.
The robots know all
My
of us,
SSO,
Albert.
but yeah, yes, it seems to know me, but it seems to think I have a password that's not the same password that I use for SSO. So I have no idea. I can't log in, but I'll sort it out later.
Okay.
I don't know what it is.
Anyone else have any questions so far? All right, so let's move on. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to integrate Flipgrid into our Canvas
Sandra?
course. Yes.
I'm so sorry. I see that Stephanie says she has questions that aren't technical. Should she ask now or save those for later?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, my questions were about like students' use of these because I have, done discussion threads in Canvas, and my students actually have a lot of trouble like getting their video loaded into Canvas. Do students have an easier time using Flipgrid than Canvas, or what do you find with that?
I think they do because the system is really it's pretty easy. Like this, because the system is integrated into Canvas, there's only one way to record a video. Yeah. They do have the option, and I'll show you all later on. There is the option of uploading a pre-recorded video if students want to. But if not, they can just use the recording device or the recording options within the system itself.
Right. Okay, that does seem better for them.
They even have the option of trimming it, editing the video once they've seen it. They're like, oh, I don't want that last part. I don't like this part. And then there's other options that the students have, like they can change their filter. They can put stickers on their video. They have to take a selfie, which is like the cover page of the video. So there's a bunch of different options that the students have with the Flipgrid assignment. And I found it that I've had a lot less issues because I also do voice recordings in my language classes. And sometimes those are usually done within Canvas. I don't need a video. I just want to hear them speaking. And sometimes Canvas has like hiccups where it doesn't let them, they'll record, but it doesn't let them upload, and it'll take forever to upload. But I haven't found that problem in Flipgrid yet.
Okay, good. So I think students find it easier to use.
Yeah, I think it's more intuitive for students because everything is super clear and the buttons are all easily accessible on the program.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to create our first integration key so that we're able to let Flipgrid embed into or integrate into Canvas. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go, let me move this really quick. We're going to go into integrations. And you're going to see that I have like a lot of them. But if you're new to Canvas or if you're using it for the first time, this page is going to be blank. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on the blue button on the top left, add new integration. You're going to click on it. And then you can add the name to your classes. Because I'm teaching several Spanish 1 classes, I usually identify them by their section number so that I know that this particular Canvas integration key is going to go for section 15.620. You want to make sure that you know which integration keys go into which course, because you do have to make one for each of your Canvas courses. So if you're teaching, let's say 4 this semester, you're going to need to create 4 different Canvas integration keys. Today, we're going to do 1. So then I label my class Spanish 1, section 15.620, and then I press create. Technically, it should show up. Let's see. Let me refresh. All right. So the screen wasn't showing the new integration, but once I refreshed the screen, it showed me the integration key I just created, Spanish 1, section 15.620. You should have 2 keys. One is a consumer key, and the other one is a shared key. Does anybody have any questions thus far?
I have one. I think it's a little premature though.
No, tell us your question.
Okay, well, I want to know if students working remotely can do a language conversation recording together.
Definitely. Yes.
And then even if they're in different locations, can they work together, you know, remotely and have it come to me as one video with them practicing a conversation?
Completely. I'll show you what that looks like. I have an example set up from actually this past summer of what it looks like when students do, I call it call and response, but when a student records a video and then they have other students respond to them and then they respond back, so that you see like the conversation thread in the Flipgrid video. And you can definitely do it where you assigned a pair of students where, you know, you give them a topic and they're responsible for creating a conversation of 4 bubbles or 5 bubbles, depending on what you decide to do in the video. But yeah, definitely you're going to be able to do that.
Cool.
Yes.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. So now we have created our course that we're going to integrate into Canvas. We have our consumer key and shared secret. Now that we have this information, do not close this window. What you're going to need to do is open your Canvas course that you want to integrate this Flipgrid app into. I have chosen Spanish 1 15/6/20. And this is my homepage for now. What you're going to need to do is go all the way to the bottom of your navigation bar and click on settings. Once Canvas opens up settings, you're going to click on the tab that says apps. Make sure that all is highlighted, because if you have not installed or installed, it won't show you every single app that is available in the Canvas system. And then under the search box on the right-hand side, you're going to search for Flipgrid. And it should pop up, green and white banner. Once it pops up, we're going to click on it. And then you have another window where it explains to you how Flipgrid can only be used through Canvas. Oh, this is a good pause. One of the limitations of using Flipgrid as a free app is that students have to use it through the Canvas LMS system. That's why as educators, we get the account for free, because we're using it within an LMS system that Flipgrid allows for educators to use for free. So some of the configurations that Canvas uses on their own website might not be available in Canvas itself. But in my experience, I haven't felt the need to use the other components because Canvas is already pretty good at making sure that the instructions are always available, that students don't have to go back and forth between different windows. So I like that it's fully integrated, even though there are some things that you might not be able to use under the Canvas integrated account. Another great thing about Flipgrid being integrated into Canvas is that it's also available through the speed grader. Therefore, once a student or a group of students create their videos and they do their responses, you're able to click on the speed grader and it'll show you not only the video that they created, but it'll also show you all the responses that that particular student has done throughout the assignment or the activity. And then the students are able to record within the Flipgrid account. Another really great component to this is that, let's say a student doesn't have their computer with them and their assignment is due. If they have an Android or an iOS or an Apple Mac phone, they're able to record their Flipgrid video through the Canvas app. And I'll show you all a short video on how that looks like from the student's perspective, so that you can see what them recording through their mobile phones or through their smartphones is going to look like for them. So this is just, quick information about integrating Flipgrid into your Canvas shell or Canvas course. Next, we're going to click on Add App. And you're going to see that you have a consumer key and a shared secret that you have to include before the integration. We're going to return back to our educator page on Flipgrid. And we're going to copy the consumer key. All you have to do is click on the word copy next to it. Go back to the course, paste the consumer key, return to the educator Flipgrid page, copy the shared secret, return back to the Canvas course, and then paste the shared secret. I like to also just double check that some of the numbers match, even though the shared secret doesn't show up on the educator account for Flipgrid. I do like to compare some of the numbers that I see in the consumer key with the ones that I plugged in to the Add App, just to make sure that there's no mistake. Because sometimes if that happens, then you have to go back and integrate or re-add the Flipgrid app to Canvas. So once you've copied and pasted both the consumer and shared secret, you're going to add the app. After the app is added, you're going to want to go back to the tab bar at the top of your page and click on Navigation. Under Navigation, Flipgrid should appear in the section where the items are hidden from the students. But sometimes that doesn't happen because Canvas is still thinking. So what I like to do is I like to refresh my page in the hopes that Canvas has finished thinking and adding Flipgrid to my shell. And if I go to the bottom, I will see it here at the bottom of the page. Once I see it at the bottom of the page, I'm going to click and drag it to the section where I want students to be able to see the Flipgrid application. Now just know that after we integrated Flipgrid fully into our course, you're not going to necessarily, students are not going to necessarily click on Flipgrid to do the assignment. They're going to click under the assignments. And I'll show you all in a little bit what that looks like for students so that you can see what it could look like in your own classroom as well. Once you've moved your Flipgrid application to the section of your navigation bar where it is visible to everyone in the course, don't forget to press save. I've done this so many times where I forget to press save and then everything that I've moved around doesn't get saved. So don't forget to press save. The save button is at the bottom of the page. And that will tell Canvas to make sure that what you moved around is recorded into its memory bank. Okay. So now we've integrated Canvas, but we have to create an assignment for Canvas to understand that we are using Flipgrid as an external tool for our course. So what we're going to do first, in my classes, all assignments are under my modules. And I've already created a Flipgrid activity. Oh wait, before I move on to this page, I want to make sure that folks have their questions answered. Are there any questions that that anybody has right now?
Hi, my name's Diane Livio. I'm from LAMC. I'm sorry, apologize if you said this, but is there a benefit to having Flipgrid in the navigation menu, considering they need to use it only through the assignments if they want to get the credit? Would it be better to just not have it there to avoid confusion?
The thing is, if you move it out of the navigation system, then it's like telling Canvas that you're not using Flipgrid.
Oh, okay, thanks.
So then what happens is when the students click on the assignments, they go to the bottom of the page where Flipgrid is located and it'll say LTI doesn't exist. So then it won't show them that Flipgrid is there. So the only reason why I leave it in the navigation bar, and I usually only place it at the very bottom where it's not, you know, in their point of, or in their line of vision, I leave it at the bottom because they're never going to really click on it. And it's not going to help them at all to click on it either. So they're not going to necessarily see the Flipgrid. It's going, especially if you're going to put it under the assignments page.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And then somebody else had a question. Is this the same process for the students?
Right.
Charles asked if this is the same process. So the students don't do anything. The only person that integrates the Flipgrid assignment or the Flipgrid app into Canvas is the professor or the instructor. Once it gets down to the student level, all they have to do is go to the assignment and record their assignment.
Great.
The system already recognizes that their name, you know, what class they're a part of. So they don't have to enroll into a Flipgrid account. Now, if you do decide to use Flipgrid outside of Canvas, then that gets a little more tricky because students do need to create an account. They do have to have their own key. And I think for students to use the account, the Flipgrid account online, the educator has to pay for a subscription. That's my understanding. But I've never used it outside of, I've never used Flipgrid with my students outside of Canvas. So I don't know necessarily what that looks like exactly, but from what I've seen in workshops and what I've heard from other people, that's what happens because obviously not everyone has Canvas as an LMS. And so some folks are using like Google Classroom, other folks are using Microsoft Teams to be able to teach their classes. And I don't know what the integration system looks like for those components. But in terms of the students, it's super easy. They just go to the assignment, click on the record button, and they just record their video, upload it, and wait for you to grade it. Any other questions before we move on?
I lost you a little bit when you did the Canvas with the Flipgrid.
Oh, the integration?
The integration part, in which tab is it?
Okay, so you're going to go back to settings under your navigation.
No, before that, in Flipgrid.
Okay.
When you created those lists, it was manage what, and which one of the tabs on the top?
So you're going to go towards, I don't know what your profile picture looks like, but the profile picture for your account is usually located in the top right of your screen.
Yeah.
Mine is
I have that.
Okay, click on that, and then you're gonna click on integrations.
Okay.
And then integrations is gonna take you to the screen that we're currently looking at.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so from there I got it. I just lost this one piece, but I was following you the rest.
Yeah, okay, perfect, thank you. All right, I'm gonna return back to the class. Okay, so as you'll see under my modules, I already have, I've already created a Flipgrid assignment for my students, but I wanna show you what it looks like to create one from scratch. So I'm going to go to the top of my module. I'm gonna create an assignment. This is gonna be a new assignment. I'm gonna call it Practice Flipgrid Intro. And then I'm gonna add the item at the bottom. And it's gonna show up here at the bottom of my module. I'm gonna open the module. Hit the edit button. And under the content, you can put whatever the assignment is going to be. You can add images, instructions. I usually add step-by-step instructions on what I need them to do and what I want them to respond to. I also give them the due date for the assignment so that it's in bold and they don't forget when they have to turn in the assignment. And I'll show you what mine looks like in a little bit so that you can see it. But here's where you're going to add all of your instructions. Now, if you're using the online form of Flipgrid, it allows for you to create the assignment through the online format or platform, and we'll see what that section is. But once you've integrated Flipgrid into Canvas, you're not allowed to use that section because it's only for paid subscriptions. And I'll show you what that that looks like in a little bit. So I'm just gonna write instructions here. I'm gonna go to the bottom. I'm gonna give this assignment the amount of points it's worth. I'm gonna assign it to the assignments group. I want the assignment to be displayed as points. Now under submission type, because Flipgrid is not an in-house Canvas app, you're gonna have it be a submission type known as an external tool. So make sure you click on that, external tool. Now what we're gonna have to do is find Flipgrid as an external tool. So I click find, and then I'm gonna scroll through the external tools available in Canvas. And you should find Flipgrid. They're usually in alphabetical order. And you click on it, press select. I don't like to use load this tool in a new tab because I like for students to do the assignments within the page that the assignment is located. So I usually don't click load this tool in a new tab. I just leave it alone. I think there's more questions. Let me see. Do we have to add the app to each Canvas course we want to use, or is Flipgrid already in our Canvas once we create it? So if you create it for one class, let's say you're teaching 4 classes this, this upcoming fall, you need to create individual integrations for Flipgrid for each of your classes. So when we created the integration keys, you're going to have to create 4 different integration keys for your classroom. So if you add Flipgrid to only one Canvas course, it's not going to seamlessly go into the other Canvas because you have different student rosters. Therefore, Flipgrid has to be able to tell who the different students are for the different classes. Does that make sense, Monica? I hope it does. Elena, you raised your hand.
I wanted to say that I believe that if you click on the load this tool to a new tab, sometimes there's like a glitch because Flipgrid it like leaves Canvas, and then there's some glitches for some people.
Okay.
So it's best if you do it in the system.
Oh, okay. That's a good point. Elena was saying that sometimes there's a glitch if you have Flipgrid open in a different tab versus just having Flipgrid work within the Canvas page that you're using. Anything else? Any other questions? Let me see. I hope I responded to Monica's question.
Where did you find the external tool?
Okay, so once you click, let me see. Once you click, when you go to submission type under the assignments page, usually the default is no submission. Mm-hmm. You're going to want to change no submission to external.
Oh, okay, thank you.
And then once you do that, you're going to have to find Flipgrid under the external tool option. You find it, you select it, and then it'll add itself to this link here. Another great thing is you can decide, how many times you want a student to participate in doing Flipgrid. They can do it a number of times, unlimited. It's up to you. I usually let students do unlimited because sometimes they realize like, oh, my video wasn't what I wanted, so I want to delete it and then redo it again, and I want to give them that option. So then you give them their due date. Move this up really quick so I can see that button. You give them the due date and then you save your Flipgrid assignment. Okay, I'm glad that this page popped up. So once you've created your very first Flipgrid assignment, you're going to see that Flipgrid is asking to connect to Canvas. Now, if we go back to our Flipgrid page, if we click on discussion, you're going to notice that the Flipgrid class I created, Spanish 1, section 1560, is not yet under the group's assignment. It hasn't been created yet. That's because Flipgrid is now realizing that we're fully integrated into Canvas, and we now need to create the course group for this particular Canvas class, which in this case is Spanish 1. So then I say, okay, Flipgrid, sure, let's create a course group. I click on that. And then here is the Flipgrid area where students will create or will upload and create their videos and record them.
Mine didn't go to that. Mine went straight to welcome to Flipgrid, create a topic.
Oh, that's weird. So it doesn't show you this at all?
No.
And you don't have the record button on the bottom?
No, I see create a topic. Welcome to Flipgrid. Get started in 2 easy steps. 1, create a topic. 2, share the join code.
Oh, that's interesting. Let me see if it took you. And you're under the discussion section?
I just finished completing the assignment, and that's what it took me.
Did you do the assignment in the Canvas page?
Yeah.
And then it took you to somewhere else. It didn't take you here. Oh, that's interesting.
I think you're on, there's a tab at the top that says topics and groups. If you go over to the groups, you can get there, because it happened to me too, but then I went over to the groups tab. So you hit discussion and then you go to the groups tab.
Where did you find the groups tab? Because it's not showing up on my end.
Let's see.
Oh, what happened to my discussion?
Because I'm under discussion. And then do me a favor, is that Deanna?
Yeah.
Deanna, do me a favor, go to the Flipgrid navigation link on the left.
Okay.
And click on it.
It says the same thing. Welcome to Flipgrid. 1, create a topic. 2, share the join code.
Oh, that's interesting.
It sounds almost like a student view.
Yeah, well, no, because create a topic would not be the student, it would be the instructor. Because if I click on mine, it shows me my practice Flipgrid intro that I just created. But I don't know where, when you click on yours, it doesn't show topics or students?
No, I created an assignment, not a discussion.
Oh no, we created an assignment too.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, we created an assignment. Unless yours is a discussion.
No, it's an assignment.
Oh, that's so interesting. I haven't seen that before.
Oh, okay. I'll just figure it out. It's fine.
Well, now I'm wondering like why that's showing up for you. I don't know.
I just click on create a topic and see what that goes?
I mean, you can and see what shows up for you.
Hi, Sandra.
Yes.
This is Raquel. Mine did the same thing, and I went ahead and clicked through it where it was asking me to create a topic. But then when I went back, I don't know if it needed to refresh. It now went to the screen that you have, which is to practice Flipgrid or something.
Okay, so maybe that's what needs to happen, Deanna, is you create your topic, or maybe just write something that is just a placeholder and then refresh, and maybe it'll refresh and change the screen for you. Thank you, Raquel.
Okay.
Sorry, I think I had the same thing. So when the window pops up in Flipgrid and you type in, like you make a topic in Flipgrid and you save it in Flipgrid, it goes to topics, not groups.
That's so interesting, because if I try to make a let's say I want to create a topic, I want to put it here, it doesn't let me. It says that this area is licensed, so I have to purchase a license to be able to create the topic, the prompt here. But I can change recording time, I can change captions.
But at the same time, if you and I just noticed this, when I went to groups and I clicked on groups, the topic that I had edited in Canvas went straight into groups. So it shows up twice on Flipgrid, at least on my end, in groups and in topics.
So then currently you're on the Flipgrid account, on the Flipgrid page, not on Canvas?
Yes.
Oh, I see.
So it sends the information from Canvas to Flipgrid now.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
I just refreshed mine. And so now you see the Spanish class that I created or I integrated right now. And if I click on that, you'll see the topic that I created for this particular course.
And it's interesting because that's something that didn't happen before.
I think it's an update. I was looking at their stuff over the weekend and they had just recently updated a bunch of components to the app itself. I think over the last few weeks in preparation for everyone who was going to move online for the fall. So there's things I think that the system is doing that I'm not privy to or I don't have any experience with as of yet. Deanna, have you been able to?
Yeah, I refreshed it. I created the topic and then it took me to where you were.
Okay, perfect. Great. Any other questions before we move forward? No? All right, awesome. Okay, so the great thing about Flipgrid is that the instructions will always be at the top of the page. And this section that you see here is the Flipgrid integration tool. Now, if you click on the pencil on the—
You don't see your screen.
Oh, you don't see a screen? Did I forget to
share? Yeah.
Share, okay, I'm sorry. Go back. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. So now, as I was saying before, the top section is going to be the area where the instructions are that you give your students for the assignment. And the second half of the page is where Flipgrid is now fully integrated into your course. If you go to the pencil on the right side of the screen and you click on it, we're not able to necessarily use this section because it says that we have to purchase a license for it, but you can use all the other tabs located in that section. So for example, you can decide how long you want your students to record. The maximum is 10 minutes, but you have options of 2 minutes, 2 minutes and 30 seconds, 3 minutes. I keep it at 90 seconds for the most part, unless we're doing a longer. Another great thing is that Flipgrid closed captions videos. So once the student has uploaded the video, the system is going to run through its processing component and it'll create closed captioning for anyone who's watching that video, whether it's the professor or other students who are watching their classmates' videos. And you can also pick from different languages that are available under their database system here. For now, I'm just gonna keep it in English. Video moderation is if you want to moderate the video before it officially posts to Canvas, you are able to turn this on. And so what's going to happen is the student is going to post their video, but it won't appear under Canvas until you go into the Flipgrid system, look at the video, and then allow for it to, or give the okay for it to post onto Canvas. And that's up to you on how to do that. You can add any media sources such as GIFs, upload a video, add emojis, any links or attachments that you want the students to have access to. I always leave the status as active, and then I usually have the start date as the first day of class, and then never is, the videos stay on Flipgrid for the duration of the course. You can decide if you want to receive email notifications when students are submitting their videos. I choose not to because then it gets to be like, 40 different videos times 3 different classes. You have like 120 messages in the first week. So I say never, but I'm always checking the videos throughout the week. You can decide whether the students can download and share their own video to their computers. And then you also have video features, which is I think what makes Flipgrid a little bit fun for the students. They're going to take selfies and videos. That's the default for Flipgrid. I do allow for students to do video comments because in my class we're conversing back and forth. So video comments is really helpful so that students get to know each other and get to hear each other throughout the class. You can decide whether you want to see how many views a particular video has had, whether students can add sticky notes to their recordings. I allow for video editing because students can trim or rearrange the clips as they see fit. You can also allow for students to attach a link to something. Maybe they're talking about a video that they saw and they want other people to look at it, so they can add that link so students can look at it. And you can decide whether the students like a video or not. For feedback, because Flipgrid is integrated into Canvas already, I just use the speed grader to give students feedback. But if you wanted to, you can also use Flipgrid to give students feedback as well. So you can decide whether you want to give them basic feedback or customized feedback. You can add different criteria, such as a rubric, to the kind of feedback you're going to give a student. And then once you've made all those decisions, you can update your topic. Now I want to show you what a Flipgrid assignment looks like. Let me go back to my modules. So this is my practice one for us, but I want to show you the one I created for the first day or the first week of class. Not that one, this one. No, not that one. What am I doing? Let me go back. Okay, Flipgrid introduction. So the first day of class, I ask students to introduce themselves. I usually have an image here. And then I give them, what I like to do is I give them a date of when their video post is due. And then I also expect for them to reply to 3 classmates, and I give them a different date to reply to their classmates so that they have enough time to go through the different videos of their classmates and choose which 3 people they want to respond to. And then I have a series of questions, which I have to change, I think. A series of questions. I once again remind them that they have to post or respond to 3 other folks in the class to earn full credit. I also give them a little time frame, how long I expect the video to be, because if not, students will just talk for 10 seconds and that's it. So I usually do give them a time frame because I want, I kind of want a hefty conversation so that other folks can respond to them with ideas or comments or feedback on their video. And then of course I remind them that they need to have a laptop or a computer with a working camera and microphone so that we're able to hear what they're doing. And then students would go to the bottom of the page, press record. Salud. Bless you.
Gracias.
And then it should load. Okay, so then it'll show them step 1 of 4, record, and it'll give them the limitation. Since my limitation is 1 minute and 30 seconds, it'll show them that's how long they have to record. And it'll usually show them a timer at the top left, top right of the screen. So here I am. I can record. It'll count down for me. Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo están? Blah, 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 etcétera, etcétera. And then I can stop it. I click next. Oh, and then you can just, there's all these options. You can decide on effects, like if I wanted to change my filter. Let's say I wanted to do a multicolor filter. I can also do an emoji if I wanted to have an emoji hang out with me for the duration of the video. Where is the emoji? Oh, let's not cover my face. Let's just have it hang out on the side, etc. So students can decide what they want to do with this section. And then they click next. They get to review. Stop. They get to see their video. They click next. They're going to take a selfie. I'm not going to take it because I don't want to submit the video. They get to take a selfie. They confirm their selfie. And then once they confirm their selfie, they're going to be asked to upload the video. The video will be uploaded and it'll give them a confirmation window saying, congratulations, you have finished your video and it has been successfully uploaded to Canvas. One thing that I wanted to show, I'm going to refresh this page really quick. Let me go back down here. Okay. One thing that I wanted to show was I was looking at how other STEM fields could use Flipgrid as part of their classes. And I found this really basic video from a math instructor on how he uses Flipgrid for his students. So I'm going to show just a really short, I think I'm just going to show like 50 seconds of the video so that you can see how he's using it using the whiteboard feature on Flipgrid.
So this video will show you how to use some of the new features of Flipgrid for math practice. Here's an example of a grid that I have set up for math practice, and inside this grid you can see that there's a topic, and this topic involves solving array word problems. So I have my directions and I have the actual question to solve at the bottom. So my students can go in and read this, or they can listen to the directions using the immersive reader.
On the control panel of a jet airplane, there are 4 rows filled with 7 buttons each. How many different buttons in total are on this control panel?
So now I'm going to solve this problem, and I'm going to solve it by clicking this green button. And once I log in, I'm ready to record. Now by default in Flipgrid, it's going to open your camera, but for this problem, I don't want to film myself. I want to use whiteboard mode to solve that problem. So if I click on the bottom, I can just switch my camera to whiteboard mode. And if I click show topic at the top, I can bring that topic up with directions, and this won't be recorded on camera, but this will help me solve the problem. And finally, what I want to do is switch to the drawing feature or the live inking and change the color. And once I'm ready to go, all I have to do is hit the record button and solve this problem. So in this problem, there are 4 rows with 7 each. The first thing I have to do is draw my array. With my array done, the next part is to write a multiplication equation. And then the last step is for me to count the total number of units that I drew. So in the end, there are 28 different buttons on the control panel.
I'm going to pause the video here. I just wanted you to see like one of the basic functions of Flipgrid, which is to use the whiteboard. And the way that I would imagine someone who is maybe taking a math class is they would have a warm-up question, a warm-up math question, for example, that you want the students to work out, and you give them a set amount of time for them to work out that problem using the whiteboard in Flipgrid. The great thing about the whiteboard is they can either use their mouse, their computer mouse, their laptop's trackpad. If they have a stylus pen, they can use a stylus pen. I mean, they have all these different options that are available to them within their computer system. Or if they prefer, they can always record themselves with, let's say, their smartphone on it with a sheet of paper, doing the warm-up problem, showing their work, and also narrating what they're doing as they're doing their work. And then once they're done recording, they can upload that video that they recorded on their smartphone onto Canvas and through Flipgrid as well. Flipgrid gives you that ability, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to go back to, if you click on record a response, or when the student clicks on record a response, they're going to have the option under options to upload the clip. So if they've decided to maybe not work within Flipgrid, but rather do the actual warm up on their own by recording themselves on at their desk and narrating what they're doing through their work, they can decide to upload the video. If they have an iPad, they can simulate, use the iPad as a whiteboard itself with a stylus pen and work out the warm up there, or they can just decide to go under effects, click on whiteboard or board, and they have several board options. Before it was just a white blank board, but in the newest or latest update, they've now decided to include grids or dots, graph, lined paper or the simulation of line paper. Maybe a student wants to use a blackboard instead of a whiteboard. Or they have other fun colors as well for the students to use. Any questions thus far? I think I see a question in the chat. Let me see really quick. Okay. May I use your tutorial about how to write in Spanish? Of course, yes, definitely. Marini says, I had an issue before. I had to go to student view to see where they needed to record. Oh, so student view is going to look a little differently than instructor view, because in the student view, they're going to have a huge giant plus button that is the button for them to press record and start their recording process on Flipgrid. Under the instructor view, you're just gonna see this. You're not gonna see the huge plus sign button under instructor view. Because if I wanted to record a response to someone, this is what it would look like to me. But I wanted to show you what it would look like. Oh, let me finish really quick the how to use the whiteboard really quick. So once you've selected a kind of whiteboard that you want to use, or the student has selected their whiteboard, they can also select, where's the options? Oh, they're also able to select the kind of drawing, the kind of pencil or color pencil they want to use. So they can decide on the thickness, they can decide on the color. And then once they've done that, they can use their whiteboard to do their work as they see fit. Now, let me clear this up really quick. Now, the cool thing about it is that they can press record, and then once the record is pressed, they can begin narrating their work. All right, I'm going to start with the warm-up problem by using my pencil, and I'm going to do X plus Y equals, who knows, right? X plus Y, and let's see Z. Yeah, so they can use that, and then depending on how long you give them, they'll have that amount of time to work out the problem and narrate the problem as they think it should be solved. And the great thing is that you can review that video, and if you see that a student misses a step or there's something that is important that will help them through the process of working out a problem, you can always give them that feedback under the speed grader in Canvas. Are there any questions before I move to an example of what the students look like once they've submitted the work? No? No questions? Okay, let me go to, I'm gonna show you what my summer students had. Summer 2020.
Oh, this is my favorite job.
Okay, so once the students have completed their assignment, this is what it's gonna look like on your end as an instructor. You're gonna be able to see all the students that have submitted their assignment. And then you're also going to be able to go into someone's video. Let's say we're gonna go into Jasmine's.
Hi class, my name is Jasmine. I am 25 years.
So you listen to her video. The cool thing, I wanted to point out once again that Flipgrid automatically does closed captioning. So you can click on closed captioning once you're looking at the student's video. And then you can also see who else has commented on that particular student at the bottom of her video. Now, the great thing is that we're able to use Speed Grader. Now, the Speed Grader isn't going to show up here because the class is over. So it's going to show you that the LTI system is no longer working, or that the credentials are incorrect because the class is over. But here in this section of your Speed Grader, you're going to see the students' uploaded work, what they did for their recording, as well as any responses that they had with or interactions that they had with the students in the class. So for example, Jasmine recorded 4 different videos. Hers was the first one. Let's see, no, yeah, it doesn't show up. Hers was the first one. And then the 3 other consecutive videos are her responses to her classmates. So you can toggle between the different videos that she submitted and then give her her grade, provide feedback, and then move on to the following student. Are there any questions so far about what we've covered in this particular section? There's somebody in the chat. Is there a browser that works better with Flipgrid? I see you using Chrome. So my understanding from all the Canvas courses and workshops that I've taken is that Chrome is the best web browser for not only Canvas, but also Flipgrid. With Firefox, and I'm a Mac user, so I love using Safari. With Firefox and Safari, I have found so many glitches or so many things that don't communicate very well with each other that has not occurred in the Chrome web browser. So for me, the ideal web browser to use is Chrome. FYI, my students discovered, yeah, Safari doesn't work. It's a great operating system, but usually only for like in-house iOS applications or in-house Apple Macintosh programs. But if you're using something that's not associated directly with Apple, I just find a ton of problems with it. I had problems with the speed grader recognizing Flipgrid posts in my Canvas course. I haven't encountered that issue, but when I've attended any of the workshops, when that happens, it usually happens because the student, from my understanding, the student isn't going directly through Canvas. They're not using, some students try to use, because if you notice, going back here, let me go back to, am I still sharing my screen?
No.
This went off.
Okay, go back. So sometimes students will, why is it doing this? Okay, share screen. Yes. Okay. Sometimes if you notice, certain Flipgrid assignments, let me see this one. No. Let me go back to this. Some Flipgrid assignments will have a code where students, for example, do you see this area where it says join code? So some Flipgrid assignments will have a code where students don't have to go directly through Canvas to record their video. They can record their video by using this code through the Flipgrid app. And sometimes from my understanding of what other instructors have said regarding this problem is that they'll use that code and then they'll be able to record and upload their video to the class. But because they're using the Flipgrid smartphone app and it's not necessarily conversing with Canvas, it won't record their videos through Canvas. You'll see it there and you'll see that they did the work, but the speed grader doesn't understand that they went through a different application process to upload their video. Now, this is a great moment to talk about what it looks like from the student's perspective, recording a Flipgrid assignment through the Canvas application. Before I do that, I see some questions.
I was gonna ask you, before you go into that, Sandra,
yes.
Did we create a group for our class? What do we do with the groups?
So don't do anything with the groups because the groups have already been created for you. Once you've created that very first assignment for Flipgrid, and you create the assignment, you integrate Flipgrid through the assignment section where you ask for the assignment to acknowledge that it's an external tool and that the external tool you're using is Flipgrid. Once you click save, the group is going to populate and you're just gonna click on create group and it'll automatically create it for you. So you don't have to go back. If I return to this section, so you don't have to do anything here. There is no need for you to create a group here because you can do everything internally through Canvas. I mean, you can create a group here if you wanted to, but I find it to just be a little more seamless if you go through the steps that we went through in the Canvas integration process.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? I don't know if I got all the questions from the chat. Let me see. Apologies, blah, blah. Does Flipgrid have troubleshooting guides for students if they encounter issues? Yes, on their website, they have a section for students where they can go and they can ask questions. and there's also a phone number that they can call as well. There's a Flipgrid, or I can't remember if it's a phone number, or I can look for it really quick to see. Somebody raised their hand. Stephanie, you had a question?
So do you have trouble with, like, how much do you run into problems with students saying that they don't have a computer that has a camera? Because with Proctorio, when I was using Proctorio, I ran into that all the time, but I wasn't really sure if it was because they didn't want to use Proctorio or because they really did not have a functioning webcam.
Most of my students haven't really had that problem. Maybe one student had their webcam wasn't working correctly. So I guided them through the process of how to record through their smartphone. And so that particular student used their smartphone to record the videos, the Flipgrid videos. But I haven't yet encountered somebody who's just like, I can't do this assignment at all. What is the alternative? For the most part. And then there's—
I encountered that a lot with Proctorio.
I use Proctorio too, but the only time I've used the camera option is when they're taking their final exam. Mm-hmm. So I haven't encountered that problem with. I mean, there's sometimes some resistance to, like, what is Proctorio? Why are we using it? Where is the data going? And all those are legitimate questions that students have. Mm-hmm. But in terms of Flipgrid, I don't know if it's because we're a language class and it's just sort of understood that if you're going to be in a language class, there is an expectation for you to speak the language, share the language with others, interact with other folks. So maybe that particular resistance is a lot less for us. Mm-hmm. But I have had a student who reached out to me and told me that they refused to put their face on a camera, that they'll turn on the camera, but cover it with a Post-it, and that they'll talk to the camera, but they don't want to put their face on the camera. And I accepted that. I was like, yeah, that's fine. If that's what you need to do in order to complete the assignment, I'll accept it. Yeah. Okay. Somebody asked, Canvas continues asking me to log in. I've tried changing my email and going back through the steps to no avail. Hopefully I can review this recording to see where I got lost. Okay, sorry, Mariah. I hope that you can figure out what's going on with Canvas and why it's bumping you off the system for this. And then Laura said, when I created an assignment and then went to the student view, oh yeah, the LTI wouldn't let you see the launch. If you go through the student view, it won't see the launch, especially if you haven't published your class yet, and if you haven't published the assignment. So right now, if I try to go to the class, my particular class that I haven't published anything yet, I'm still working on them. But if I go to the class, click out of here, and then I say, oh, I want to see what it looks like for students, and I go to the student view mode. Click on student view. It's not going to show me anything because my class hasn't been defined for this course. And I haven't published anything, and the course itself isn't published either. I don't know if that's one of the issues maybe that you're having with seeing it from a student perspective. Oh, one thing, we have about 11 minutes left. So one thing that I definitely want to make sure that we see together is a demo of what it looks like if students decide to use their smartphones to record their Flipgrid demo or their Flipgrid assignment. So I found one from the Online Network of Educators, which is the @ONE program with Michelle, who is one of the instructors for all those courses through @ONE. And she did a really great video that's super easy to understand in terms of what it looks like for a student to record. So I'm gonna let it run for like about a minute or two so that you can see what the student will see when they record their Flipgrid assignment.
How to participate in a Flipgrid assignment through the Canvas app. First, you'll want to download the Canvas student app to your mobile device, and you'll also want to download the free Flipgrid app to your mobile device. Also be sure the Canvas app is connected to the correct instance of Canvas so you can get to your course. So I've already done those steps. I'm going to go ahead and click on the name of my course. Click on assignments, Click on the name of the Flipgrid assignment. In this case, it's Meet and Greet. Click the Submission tab at the top. Click Launch External Tool. You'll see the assignment so you can get oriented to the prompt and view the video prompt from your instructor. And when you're ready to comment, click on the green plus icon. Choose Open in App. Again, remember, I already have the app downloaded to my mobile device. So your video will start streaming from your mobile device, but don't worry, it's not recording yet. When you're ready to start recording, you can click on the red record button, which I'm going to do right now. Hi folks, I'm Michelle Pacansky-Brock and I'm recording here from my mobile device. I'm going to show you also that if I click on that, the blue flip button, it will flip my video around and allow me to show you around. That's my empty dog bed. I had the intention to share my adorable new puppy Dwight with you, but he took off. So sorry, folks. We'll have to get him next time. And when you're done recording, you can flip back, say so long, and simply click to the green arrow if you're done. If I click on the pause button, it will allow me to pause, and then I could I could start recording again, and sometimes people like to do that. If I want to start totally over, if I feel like I really screwed up and I just don't like what I said, I can simply click the trash icon, the red trash.
I'm going to pause it here because she's just going to go through what it looks like once everything is submitted, which is the same thing that students see when they're doing the submission through their computers, where they take a selfie and then they have to confirm that they're uploading the video, and then the video upload will show them a congratulations, your video is successfully uploaded. Nuala, you had your hand up. Did you have a question?
It's miscellaneous. I don't want to, interfere with what this is. And by the way, I have to say this is great. It's really helping me. It occurs to me that Flipgrid is an alternative assignment to Zoom for students in different time zones that we get to see them. So
definitely. I at the beginning of the workshop, I talked about how I've only really used Flipgrid with my asynchronous courses. But there's also the option of using it with their synchronous courses as well. And I also like that you're able to break up the monotony of having to use the same program over and over and over throughout the semester. It gives students a little bit of change, something different, something new to learn throughout the semester, so that they're not using the same programs all the time. Which I know can sometimes be a little bit boring for some folks. And so because the program, to me, it has been very successful in our classrooms. I'm really I really like using it and encouraging students and everyone else to use it as well. But yeah, I agree with you, definitely. I think there was a question. Did that answer your question, Nuala?
Yeah, it did. And you're going to send us links to this video and
definitely. I'll send the link to Leslie, and then I think Leslie's gonna collect everyone's links and make sure that they're all organized after the workshops. Definitely.
Fabulous. Thank you so much.
Somebody said there's an LTI launch error. Can you clarify what this means? Course not connect to grid yet, please contact instructor. If you're going through the student view, you're not going to be able to see the student view, especially if your course is not yet published and if the assignment is not yet published either.
So I did publish.
So keep that in mind.
I did publish the course just now. And then I did go to student view, and I did put a who am I type assignment introduction in there. So I'm wondering if it really means that I haven't done something at the Flipgrid management side.
What I would probably do is, if that is showing up, I would reintegrate Flipgrid into Canvas again. Does that make sense? So I would do the consumer key and the secret shared key integration again into Canvas.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
We have about 5 minutes left in the workshop. For those of you who showed up a little bit after, please make sure that you sign in with your full name and your campus of affiliation so that when I go provide credit for your attendance in the VRC, I have your information there. So please, please don't forget to include yourself or add yourself to the attendance roll in the chat so that you're able to get credit for today's session. Are there any other questions or concerns? Thank you, Laura, for signing in. We appreciate you.
Hi, Sandra. Albert here. Yeah,
Yes.
I was wondering if 2 or more students can participate in the same recording and have a real-time conversation.
Definitely. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll figure out how to do that. It's just good to
Yes.
know.
You can definitely do it as a synchronous course. So let's say there's 15 minutes set aside for class. You open Canvas, you tell them go to Canvas. From this time to this time, you pair them up in their groups or with their fellow classmates, and you say, okay, you know, you both are responsible for responding to these questions and having a conversation back and forth in these questions. The one thing that is probably going to lag is just the uploading time, right? Because somebody's going to record, and then that person has to wait for that record to fully show up on Canvas for them to be able to respond.
Oh, so they can't participate in a real-time conversation. They're separate recordings?
Real-time conversation, no, because if they're using two different computers, they're more than likely not going to be able to do it that way.
Ah, okay.
You see each other face to face. No, this usually is just somebody records, uploads the video, I wait for it, I see it, I listen to it, I respond to it, and then they see my video, they respond to it. So kind of like a thread of videos that you're going to see.
Oh, okay.
Face to face, I don't even think Canvas has anything like that. I don't know if
well, they can record Zoom.
Oh,
If
yeah, Zoom,
if I want them to do a skit, they can, 2 people can join a Zoom and have a conversation and record it.
That's right. Zoom has that capability, but I don't think Canvas has that capability as a program or as an LMS system yet. And Flipgrid definitely doesn't have that happening yet.
Okay,
hopefully in the future, they keep updating it. So maybe in the future, something like that will show up.
Thank you. That's good really good to know.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Can I just remind folks of one thing before we sign up? Okay. So hi everybody. I just wanted to remind you that the VRC will send you an email shortly after our session concludes with a link for to fill out an evaluation. So look out for that. It might go to your junk mail, just so that we can get some feedback on Sandra's amazing workshop today. We'd appreciate it.
Yes.
Thanks.
I also see someone on the phone whose name is not showing up under their Zoom account. So if that person could tell me who they are and what campus so that I can mark them present, or I can mark their attendance under the VRC. Their phone number starts with a 424, if that helps. No?
I think that might be Caleb.
Maybe?
I'll send you his info.
Okay, thank you. All right, folks, if there aren't any questions, welcome to Flex Week. And go ahead and make sure you check out the rest of the schedule. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope it was helpful. I tried to cover as much as possible in the short time span. And of course, I'm gonna write my email address on here. If you have any questions or any concerns, I will try to help you as much as possible, even though I don't work for Flipgrid as a tech person. But I've had a lot of hiccups along the way, just trial and error learning on my own. And I love to help other people as well. And so for those of you who weren't able to fully integrate, feel free to contact me and maybe we can figure something out on what's going on with the system. To me, if everything we did steps 1 through 10 didn't work, I always go back to number 1 and then I just start over, and then somehow that works. Sometimes there's a glitch in the system and we just have to let it figure itself out. But thank you so much everyone for attending. I appreciate you all. Don't forget to sign into the chat if you didn't sign into the chat already to get credit for today's session.
Gracias, Sandra. Great grand opening.
Gracias,
Muchísimas gracias.
Go, everybody, go. Ciao.
Good to see everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Good job, Sandra.
Thank you.